it's real, we can tell cause we see it in your eyes. Keep your war stories, homie, we don't believe in your lies. Long live the chill, the people need to feel something. Long live the chill, the people need to feel something. When it's real, we can tell cause we see it in your eyes. Keep your war stories, homie, we don't believe in your lies. Long live the chill, the people need to feel something. Long live the chill, the people need to feel something.
I brought flowers for this poor fool of a poet. I knew I'm broke ballin'. You a little too perfect for me, it's cool. Free the real, long live the chill, you need to feel something. Trying to smoke a joint with BB Borelli and heal something. Bury me in gold next to the pharaohs that we came from. Lost souls changing the culture like Shang Tsung and Mortal Kombat. Fatality to your negative energy. Sage for my soul, I can't let the evils into me. Can I live? Probably not, but that's politics as usual. Can't knock the hustle, that ambition was a gift to you. With reasonable doubt, I don't trust none of you rappers. You zanned out actors as false prophets in this rapture. I'm the archangel, slapping the neck of you fake pastors. Like I told you before, these lost souls I'm still after. Burn it all to the ground and build upon the ashes. Mad Titan, man, they all disappear when I get to snapping infinity stones in my pen. The strongest of gems. Catch me praying for your soul, cause I want you to win. See if it don't touch my spirit, then I don't get near it. That's point blank period. I'm traveling on a one-way ticket. I'm on a flight to happiness. I rest easy in the clouds. Ain't no room for self-doubt when you gunning for the crown. They say heavy is the head. We shoulder the burden. One thing is for certain, man, everybody's here for a purpose. Established in 93, I've been snapping since 07. Catch me laughing with my brethren at your so-called legends. Established in 93, I've been snapping since 07. Catch me laughing with my brethren at your so-called legends. Established in 93, I've been snapping since 07. Catch me laughing with my brethren at your so-called legends. Established in 93, I've been snapping since 07. Catch me laughing with my brethren at your so-called legends. When it's real, we can tell cause we see it in your eyes. Keep your war stories, homie, we don't believe in your lies. Long live the chill, the people need to feel something. Long live the chill, the people need to feel something. When it's real, we can tell cause we see it in your eyes. Keep your war stories, homie, we don't believe in your lies. Long live the chill, the people need to feel something. Long live the chill, the people need to feel something.
Check, check. 1 2 1 2. Egg salad. Howdy doody. What's going on? Good morning, afternoon, good night. Mostly good night on this side of the world, but we're on a big ball. So I don't know what time it is. It's a struggle. I made an oopsie. I'll admit it. I made a big oopsie. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, everybody get the finger pointing emojis out and the laughing emojis out. I get it. Alright, but one step at a time. Alright, so unfortunately, it slipped my brain because for the past 2 years, I've been using USDT that I can't hedge trade on inverse perpetual. Alright, when I first started using inverse perpetual, I was very careful not to do this. But for some reason, it slipped my mind. So last night I got entered short once we crossed back over 31,400. All right. My original trade for the long was about 4,000, maybe 5,000 contracts. I'm not quite sure. And the short that I was opening was about 6,500 contracts. So it canceled it out and I got screwed. All right. That's my fault. But now I have lost a really, really good position on BTC. All right. So right now, there's nothing I can do. The question that most people are going to ask, like, what do you do now? Like, how do you get back into a long? I don't. All right. I made an oopsie. I have to own up to it. I can't get back into a long. All right. Unless the market gives me a new place of confidence to go long from. Right now, that's not even really close to happening. All right, if we can get back underneath 31,400 and we form a downtrend, uptrend, downtrend situation coming back down, maybe to form an even larger A, B, C situation, I might be able to take that, but it's all a matter of if it happens. So it sucks, but I look at the bright side. I still have Ethereum, I still have LTC, I still have KDA, all well and open if things are going to continue to go up. So, you know, it is what it is. You gotta make some mistakes sometimes to solidify in your brain to do the right thing. But yeah, besides that, just kicking it. Been a chillax day. We're just moving sideways. I believe like last night at like 4 a.m. is when this trade got triggered for me. So since then, it's been all cool in the hood. But yeah, let's hop into the TA. Once again, nothing really crazy to go over. We'll talk about the SPY first. SPY once again has a major macro correction wave. Right now, we are currently still sitting above the A, which is a really, really good sign for bulls. All right, we still could get rejected here because once again, these supports, the further away you are from them, the more you should look at them as a area rather than a direct point of support and resistance. All right, now when in terms of trades, we really can't do nothing with that. So it looks like we got a minor rejection so far on the US 100 at that same exact setup level. All right, on the US 100, that's about 13,000. All right, so we could still push above it. Who knows? But in terms of like where we're sitting in the market, BTC is the only one to have completed a bearish setup. All right, right now it's not bearish because we are above the A. All right, if we do happen to go back down, that's when it turns bearish and it completes and we can continue further down. All right, and once again, all right, you guys got to read. I got someone to ask the question where I was going to take profits on this short. At everyone, attention, I'm a dumbass. That was my last message before I threw it in the general chat. I said I'll be taking profit if we get back down to $28,800, which is the 0.5 of the current ABC structure. All right, make sure you read the full messages. All right. So right now I'm waiting on that entry. Like I said, in order for me to go long again, I will have to see a new downtrend, uptrend, downtrend form off of this top of the C wave if we happen to come back down below the A. Ethereum, there's not really much to say right now. It looks like we could be forming particularly maybe a B wave on the smaller time frames, but in terms of like me wanting to take anything related to that, I'm not. All right, right now we are back above, most importantly, this ABC position and this one right here. All right, so we might be looking for a retest about 1893, maybe even a little bit lower. Who knows? It's all dependent on what BTC does itself. All right, I'm still holding my longs. I'm not getting out of any of them. All right, if that's not already clear. All right, I do not know where I'm going to take profit on these longs. I'm waiting for the market to show me. Nothing has been shown yet. All right. Until we break back above 33K and we see a significant ABC with a relating structure going into it as well, calling for even a lower low C. All right, there's nothing for me to do. All right, at this moment in time. LTC, kind of the same situation. Once again, we had ABC with the A at 64.60, and I am long from there as well. KDA, we have ABC with our A being at $2.15, $2.16, and I'll be long from there as well. All right, looks like we're coming back down and retesting it right now. I haven't gotten stopped out. All right, and if I do, it's an if this and that statement. If we come back above $2.16, I will enter it again. Okay. So whatever happens, happens. Go with the wind. It really does suck, I'll admit, because that was not something I was planning on at all. I wanted to hold that long position, even if we got back above 33K. It is what it is, but you live and you learn. So let me go ahead and open up the chat over here. Get to talking to you guys. Probably gonna be a shorter live stream just because we're late anyways. And all that jazz. Kite, you late, man. Time to sleep. We have work tomorrow. I'm sorry. Right now it's only about 7:20 for me. Like I said, Tuesdays I'm in no rush. If I show up at all, then it's a hallelujah. Kite, I'm proud to say I've turned a $50 portfolio into 1K, sitting at 10,000, not 10,000, 1080 right now. That's fantastic, man. I'm glad to hear it. Hopefully you're lowering your risk. Because probably at the beginning, you're probably using somewhere around like 5 to 10% risk, most likely. If not, then you've been on one hell of a journey and I commend you. But hopefully you're scaling back, dropping it down to 1%, and just continuing from there because you got a good starting point now. Don't lose it. How do you get in the Discord? On the Patreon, on the YouTube. I say it every time. All right, it's right here in the sign-up message. All right, let me go to High Flyers. It says, thank you very much for joining. Please message me on Discord to get an invite at Kite #2136. When you message me, make sure you put your email that you use on Patreon in order to help me verify that you are who you say you are. You gots to read, my mans. Gots to reads. Currently, there is no public Discord. Can you do analysis on open interest on BTC right now? I really don't do that anymore. I just don't feel the need to. My vision is so bad. I'm sitting right here, probably about 1.5 feet away from this monitor, and I can't see what's going on in the chat. I need to order more contacts tomorrow. God dang it. Yeah, it says it in the thing as well. Like on the little badge page. Make sure that you are not waking up. If you're going to sign up for the Patreon, make sure you do it on the 2nd of the month. You do it today, yesterday, day before. All right, it says it plain Jane right on the Patreon. It will charge you when you first enter, and then it will charge you on the new billing cycle, which is the 1st. All right, I don't want that to happen. I give a prerequisite, so like I'm not really liable for like if you don't read. But if it happens by accident, I'll give you a refund, but just know that it costs me money too. It's only the 2nd day, so it's going pretty good. My eating window ended 23 minutes ago. I had 5 guys today. Cheeseburger, Cajun fries. I have plans to scale down to 0.75% risk once I reach 1500 and then continuously lower it 0.25% as I progress in compound. That's good. What is it at currently? Because I'm guessing 1%, because if you're going to lower it once you get to 1500 and you're doing it in 20.25% increments, it should be at 1%, right? Wait, why the 2nd? Just because of time zones. All right, so like let's say someone that's in Australia, they hear me say that they should sign up on the 1st. Their 1st is my 31st. So therefore, they're going to sign up a day before and they're going to get double charged. So I always say the 2nd just to make sure that everybody around the globe is doing it properly. Because it goes based off of California time. Because Patreon is located in California. Okay, now that you're out of BTC, do you think we would go back to No, just because I'm out of BTC doesn't mean I think that we're gonna dump. My plan was that we were going up. My bias is still to the upside. I didn't close my trade for any reason besides I'm a dumbass. Now, for like the sake of my trade, do I hope that we go back down? Yeah, I do. But to be honest, I don't think we will. All right, we have the setup for it. I play the if this and that statement as the market is telling me. If it happens, it happens. But currently, we're really sitting pretty. Once again, I closed my BTC trade because I am dumbass. I accidentally made a mistake and I forgot that I can't hedge trade on inverse perpetual. No other reason besides that, I would still be sitting in it right now if that wasn't the case. For someone attempting to long S&P 500, would it make sense to target the 0.618443? It's a good target, but with a macro correction wave like that, you could see higher highs. I mean, there's no use in targeting the 0.618. Just hold the trade. I feel like most people are afraid to do so because they go, what if it turns back around? What if it does? If you're never willing to hold those winners and milk them for everything they got, you are going to lose out more often than not. Right now, today, the account is sitting at about 6,826. That doesn't include the little bit I got in spot over here. That's just kind of stuff I've taken off the top. So technically above 7 grand, but we'll go with the derivative side. Yeah, you can hedge on USDT perpetual. You can have an open long and an open short at the same time. But on USD perpetual, inverse perpetual, it's going to be just like if you have an open long and you open a short, they basically cancel each other out. So if you have 6,000 contracts open long and you sell short 4,000 contracts, you're still going to be long 2,000 contracts, if that makes sense. I get it. Yeah. But this is why I take multiple trades. Obviously, I don't take it because I think I'm gonna screw up, but it's a good thing that I got these open longs still, just in case things do continue to pop. Because Ethereum and LTC, they got a long way from their last local high, so there's definitely more room for the market to go up. Maybe Bitcoin's going to go up and test 33,000 and get a rejection, while Ethereum and LTC go up to retest their last local highs. Who knows? We'll see what goes on. Any short positions you see OGN ongoing? On BTC, there is a short position, but I have that conditional set up right now. I'll be entering if we get back below 31,400, and I'll be shorting down until the market shows me a sign. But if we do happen to hit around that $28,800 region, I'll just go ahead and take profits. I'm not worried about waiting for the market. Why do you do multiple pairs since everything is correlated to BTC? More R&R. That's the thing. Like, if everything's correlated to BTC and you can wait for BTC to show you what the market might want to do as a macro, but BTC is only offering you a 10 R&R, whereas another coin is offering you a 15 R&R, it's maybe worth using a little bit less risk and going with the 50 R&R. And you never know how one asset's going to perform over the other. All right, just a couple weeks ago, we took a long on KDA. We only saw maybe a 20% bump in Bitcoin, but we saw a 100% bump in KDA. That was a 100 R&R trade. You never know what's going to happen. Why Bybit not provide hedge on inverse? I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with logistics. I'm not quite sure. You can always have a sub account. If you go up here to the top right and you click this button, you can go ahead and use a sub account. Or you can do your longs on inverse perpetual and have a little bit of margin left over in USDT to take your shorts, which is originally what I was doing, but I just forgot. It slipped my mind. I was having too much fun with video games this week, so my mind wasn't really in the zone. I don't know if we'll get a better entry on BTC. Maybe, but I doubt that. That was the low. And unless we go down and we put in some macro lower lows, that was the low. And I caught it. And I'm upset, but it is what it is. There's always going to be a new opportunity, and I'll try my best to savor it and not waste it away like this one. They say it in the trading the zone, and it's true for me. Leaving money on the table is way worse than losing a trade. Really makes it struggle to leave a trade open. I think you're misinterpreting that. Because I think what it means is, like, let's say you have a strategy where you aim to take profit at the 0.441. And it gets to the 0.441. And you're like, I think it's going to go past that. All right, then you're going against everything that you planned on. That's what feels worse. All right, for me, I play it differently. My strategy is not to take profit at the 0.441 unless it's a hedge trade. So for me, I don't feel bad leaving money on the table, because I know there'll be a new trade that can perform even better than the last one. And just because something feels worse doesn't mean that it's the right way. I think that's another big key thing. Are you also doing day scalping? I did some quick scalps today. It's very profitable. No, I have no interest in it. What pairs do I mostly trade? Anything with a lot of liquidity. Mostly stuff that's been around for a long time as well. Like, I trade LTC despite people being like, LTC doesn't do a lot of gains. I don't care. I made like 100,000% on Bitcoin this bull run. And it only did what, 4,000%? You don't need to buy an electronic lottery ticket to have a lot of gains. Just make smart decisions. So Ethereum, LTC, BTC. And then, yeah, from time to time, I'll find an altcoin that looks appetizing and I might try it, but I use lower risk. All right, whereas typically on BTC, Ethereum, LTC, I'm using 1%. I might use like 0.3% on something like KDA. On KDA, if I lose, I'm losing $20. On LTC, if I lose, I'm losing $60. You see how ETH is not following BTC? I mean, not really. BTC go up, ETH go up. And on the smaller time frames, ETH go down. And I mean, BTC not going down, but I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just a little bit different. I don't think you can judge it by these 5-minute candles and what happens in a course of like a couple hours. If you look at the bigger picture, it's almost identical. Now, like on the macro chart, BTC had the advantage of sitting and using the micro time frames while using a macro local low of 28,800. Whereas Ethereum did not have that advantage. It was sitting smack dab between 2150, which was the last major local low of support, and 1700, which would have been the new current one. So it had no major support in this region to help it stay stable, which is why it was able to have a little bit further of a downtrend and go retest 1700. Whereas, BTC was able to kind of maintain its support. There's nothing too complicated why I'm looking to short BTC. Like I said, my main bias is to the upside. I'm still fairly bullish. All right, it's just a matter of this is what the chart is showing me, and if it comes to fruition, I have to act upon it because that's my strategy, and I can't break from my strategy. I have a plan, and if I don't trade my plan, it's worth nothing. All right, so we have an uptrend starting from the low of about 26,000. All right, we peaked over here at about 31.4. We had a trough at about 27.9. And now we're putting in higher highs than our last major high of 31.4. So if we come back below 31.4, to me that is a completed ABC pattern. I'll be entering short from there. And for me, because of the way the macro looks at the moment, 28,800 is a very, very strong support. So if we ever get near that, I will be taking profits because like I said, all right, my main bias is to the upside. So that means any longs that I take, I'll be holding, all right? But I'm not afraid to take hedge trades in the opposite direction to make up for the small loss I'll incur if I get stopped out of the trades that I'm currently in. All right, because the only thing that really exists is my risk that was on the table when the trade began. I know, like you were saying, in the beginning, it does feel worse to leave money on the table than losing a trade. But that does not mean that that is the correct method of thinking. All right, that just means that you're a beginner. All right, this money that's on the table, obviously it feels good to look at it and theorize I could hit the take profit button right now and it would all be mine. But that's jack shit in the grand scheme of things of what could happen if I let the trades go. All right, we are in advantageous positions where we took these trades from. If I don't milk them, I'm doing my portfolio an injustice. So, I'll take the hedge trades just in case I lose, $60, $60, $20. And I'll probably make about $400 or $500 worth of profit on that short if it does work out. Ooh, that would have been a good short position. Maybe we'll get a retest. I might be able to grab that. I'm not trying to spread myself too thin, so we'll see what happens. I don't like having the mic that close to my face. Where'd you learn all this stuff? Just time. Osmosis of the market. You know, like the ABCs were like an adaptation from a book called Harmonic Elliott Wave. A lot of my psychology came from trading in the zone, and most of the time it's just me sitting down and thinking. Right? Most people fail to just think and just like actually put it down on paper. All right, does this work on paper? If so, let's try it out. All right, what problems and brick walls am I running into? Maybe physically because of the mathematics, they just don't work, or the psychology is preventing the mathematics from working to their fullest potential. Sit down and think. All right, many times I've taken substances, sat down at the charts, and tried to figure out what was my plan of action. Like, how can I make this work? And one of those times is when I came up with the restored calculator. It's nothing revolutionary, and really it's just simple math. But to me, it made the entire world of difference. Those simple things. All right. Also, I saw a bunch of people commenting on David's video the other day, saying that he had some misinformation. And I looked at it and no, David's right. They just don't understand how the math works. Unfortunately, maybe David didn't explain that correctly with his video. But people were saying, like, just because you move your stop loss to 0.5% from 1% does not mean that you actually have more R&R. It just means that you're risking less, which they're unfortunately wrong. All right, because the way it works is you are rewarded for being more risky in the market. All right, because if you have a larger stop loss, you need to tone down your leverage in order to fit your risk from margin. All right, but if you have a smaller stop loss, you need to tone up your leverage to fit your risk from margin in that less time, less percentage points. All right, so you're being more risky by using a smaller stop loss. The risk stays the same. All right, let me try to find that exact comment. I wanted to respond back with like a huge message defending David, because I don't think the guy that was commenting was being negative at all. I think it was just a misunderstanding, but they fail to understand like what's actually happening. Because with this, for example, the $25 or the $65 stays the $65. No matter if my stop loss is 0.5%, 1%, or 10%, it is still $65. All right, so if I'm willing to lose $65 faster, all right, my leverage needs to amplify the market to be able to reach that target goal of loss faster in less percentage. All right, because if my portfolio is 1% and that's $65, all right, how am I supposed to lose 1% of my portfolio in 0.5% of price action? I'm doubling what the market is worth to me with that trade. All right, so theoretically, instead of making a 10 restore ratio with a 1% stop loss, I'm gonna make $650. All right, with a 0.5% stop loss, I'm being rewarded for being more risky. All right, so that means if it does click and I make that trade is now a 20 restore ratio because I'm using half as much stop loss, double the margin, double the leverage. So therefore, I'm gonna make what? $1,400? $1,300? Yeah, $1,300. Yeah, I can do math. I forgot which one it was. Yeah, it said there's some misinformation you're passing along. I love the strategy and indicator, but you say your R&R changes to 11 or more when you move your stop loss is incorrect because your original risk hasn't changed. You just cut your losses right away. But what he's not understanding is the leverage aspect of what's happening. All right, if I'm still only willing to lose $65, but if I win the trade, I'm making $1,200 or $1,300. I'm making 20 times what I'm willing to lose. Regardless of if I'm willing to lose it faster or shorter, that's not the issue. All right, it's what you're making versus what you're willing to lose if you get stopped out. That is the pure definition of R&R. This guy just didn't quite understand, or maybe I didn't watch the full video because I try to make sure, like, I know David's a good guy and everything, but I try to make sure I limit myself from looking at other people's content as much as I can. So I watched like the first part of the video, but I didn't watch it all the way through. Is 10x my typical leverage? It depends on what's happening. On BTC, I'm using 25x leverage. All right, just because I wanted to free up some more margin just in case. So I'm using 4% of my portfolio as margin, 25% of 4% as risk, which comes out to total risk 1% of the entire portfolio, because $65 out of 6,500 is 1%. Now I'm underestimating my portfolio as well. You can see my portfolio is about 6,800, $7,000. All right, so I'm giving a little bit of leeway. I think that's always good to do, just because you never know. All right, but right here, I'm not using a 0.5% stop loss. I'm using a 1%. So if I want to lose 25% of my margin in 1% worth of price action, my leverage needs to be my risk divided by my stop loss equals my leverage. So for every 1% the market moves, it moves 25% of my trade. All right, so if I want to lose 25% in 0.5% of price action, all right, I need 25 divided by 0.5 equals 50. All right, so if you're willing to be more risky in the market, you will be rewarded with profit, but it's about finding a happy medium. All right, and that's all dependent on who you are, what your lifestyle is, how much attention you can give to the charts, what you feel comfortable with emotionally having at risk, and how much time it takes to lose it. Most people aren't fine with this, and that's why I can sit here all day and tell you how I'm making this money, because most people can't stomach this. All right, it's very hard emotionally, but it doesn't have to be. All right, it just takes time, practice, use small risk to kind of build your muscles psychologically to feel the pain consistently in the market. And then eventually the pain isn't pain, it's just your regular day life, which is kind of sad to say it out loud, but it's what we go back to before. You know, it feels worse leaving money on the table than it does taking a loss. But that, just because that's the truth of what you might feel, doesn't mean what you feel is the correct manner to go about things. Taking a small loss is okay. Leaving money on the table is okay. The entire situation's okay. You just have to let things work out. Sometimes, one of the good things that I always try to preach was make sure that once you get to a point in your trading career, you try your best to identify what is a mistake in your trading pattern, like how you approach the market, and what is simply unlucky. Because there's times where I'm adhering to my trading pattern, my strategy, to the T, and I am simply unlucky with how things are working out. But do I abandon the strategy completely? No. I make small tweaks, like maybe increasing the stop loss a little bit to allow for more volatility. But besides that, I'm not transitioning to an entirely new indicator that I just found yesterday, and it says it's going to be all the hopes and dreams that are going to fix my problems. Like I screamed at you guys like 2 or 3 days ago. All I ask is you're consistent with your trading strategy. All right. Now, all right, you can go about like the throw shit at the wall and see what sticks method that I do, where like I start these challenge portfolios and I just grow them. And as long as I see positive growth in the account, I know what the strategy I'm doing is working and is provably profitable. All right. But I do recommend, all right, that you, for at least a little while, try to track your trades. All right. Whenever you enter a trade, what's your win-loss ratio? All right, the two major factors is win-loss and your average R&R. All right, when you win, what is your average takeaway? All right, and then from there, you should be able to calculate whether or not you're going to be able to break even, all right, or stay profitable. All right, because you only need like a 1% edge in the market past break even to do things correctly. Now, the smaller your edge, the less risk you have to have, right? Just like Kelly Criterion says. I feel naked right now because fish had an accident on my footrest, so I had to throw it away. It's made out of foam, and there's no way to get pee out of foam. There's no way. So I have no footrest right now, so I'm like using like just random shit. Have you back-tested strategical trailing stops? No. I feel like trailing stops are the essential of like a casino giving you liquor. You know, do you get the analogy? Basically, they're trying to lubricate you up in order to make you spend more money. All right? Trailing stops theoretically would help someone that's a newbie with their psychology. But all it is getting you stopped out faster. All right? Where I enter in the market, it's places of confidence. And if I lose that place of confidence, that's when I lose my confidence and I want to get out of the trade. As long as we're above it, I'm confident. So why is there any reason beyond a shred of doubt for me to move my stop loss up? You're just trying to avoid fear, trying to avoid pain. Like I said, you're one of the people that it feels worse to leave money on the table than taking a small loss. But it's okay to do so. Let your winners ride. Right now, like I said, I'm in longs. There is a pretty decent bearish setup currently on the chart. It's not yet active. It was at one point in time. But am I abandoning all of my longs because of this? No, because I look at the bigger picture. I understand that we're sitting on macro local lows. All right, we have a macro ABC, massive, compared to anything that we see on our charts right now. Downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. All right, so we have all this in the cards. So why am I going to abandon and move my stop losses up and get stopped out of trades I want to stay long in? I made a mistake getting out of my Bitcoin long trade. I was willing to hold that till the moon. All right, I don't know, about 43,000, but the moon. All right, so there's just no reason to do so. It's a trap. It's a disguise, doors. But I let my winners ride, but I'm not afraid to hedge against them. So just in case I'm totally wrong, at least I made some money back, covered some losses, maybe made a little bit more profit than I had. But giving up the potential of confidence in the market, which doesn't happen very often, it's just a stupid thing to do. If you get a validation on the ABC, where would the TP be around? 30,600? For me, I'm targeting about 28,800 based off of the macro local low. Right here. I'm still trying to understand that calculator, but I don't understand the margin part. What do you mean? Have you watched, if you go to my channel, have you watched the R&R math tutorial yet? It goes over the calculator. If you go to my channel, click on playlists, click on tutorials. The leverage trade correctly R&R math tutorial goes over the calculator in depth. Think of the margin as like a down payment. All right, so like if this trade is worth $6,500, all right, I'm only putting in $250. That's what. So my margin is what I'm putting into the trade. All right, but I'm only willing to lose a certain percentage of my margin before I exit the trade, if it is a loser. All right, so like I said, if I have 4% of my portfolio being used as a down payment to get me into the trade, right, and I'm amplifying that by 200 by 25x, right, which comes out to 6,500, 260 times 25 equals 6,500. That's my contract size. All right, and then I'm willing to lose 25% of 4% of my portfolio. That makes sense? So 25% of 4% of my portfolio is 1% of the totality. And then I'm willing to get stopped out with 1%. So the only thing that really matters is if you can get this down to a logical level, say like sub 2%, all right, and make sure that your stop loss is decent. I would say like a 1% stop loss is the bare minimum. All right, I've tried 0.5%, and they have worked, but I don't think it's worth it. I think like a 1%, 2%, somewhere in that range is probably the best. But like I said, try out what you want to try out. I am not the law of the land on what is the exact right thing to do. I do what I do. If it works out, I continue doing it. There's no reason for me to like really look in depth at things. There's one potential short that I'm looking at. Now I know like you want me to look at Link. I'm sure there's plenty of coins that have short setups. I'm not interested. All right, I'm playing the coins that I'm playing. There is no short setup on Link right now. I know what you're talking about. You're probably down on a 5-minute time frame here, and you're probably talking about this right here. Too small of a time frame, my friend. All right, it might work out. We might see a dip in the market, but I do think it is better to wait for larger setups, because if you look at it, you have uptrend, downtrend, uptrend. You can see ABC formation right here. All right, this could have been your long entry for what's currently happening. All right, and then this could be your short hedge, just in case we do happen to come back down and retest. But as of like pretty much the entire market's kind of in that state of mind. I know XMR put in a higher high with a good ABC on a macro time frame. Unfortunately, I just wasn't looking at that because it wasn't really on my mind. But I'm fine with just trading BTC because right now, I mean, we're still sitting above that A pretty comfortably. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I mean, it could be that we're going to see another leg up to about 33K before we see a rejection. Right, because 33K is the last major local low. Just like how 2150 was the rejection point for BTC. I mean, for ETH. It could be the same thing for Bitcoin. But if we do happen to get back above it, just like on the US 100 and the SPY, it looks fantastic. Very appetizing. Depends on the market. Like right now, I'm not going to be using the 0.441 as my take profit for BTC, right? Because we have a major macro local low in the way. A little bit of human discretion is always a good thing. All right, 28,800 is the local low of the macro. You can see that's what we mostly used as support here the entire time. We had one tiny wick to the downside. But with the market pushing up like this, I'm not really quite sure if we're going to see the 0.441. We might, but this is a hedge trade against my macro longs. I'm not looking for the epitome of profit with this. I'm looking to make up for small losses if I'm entirely wrong on this whole thing, and or a little bit of profit on top. Not really nowadays. I really don't. The market is so different than it was back in 2016. Really, with like market dominance back in 2016, you can see when altcoin season was about to start. It's really not the same thing with this. And every year from now on, it's probably going to get worse and worse. BTC might only make up 33% of the market next time. Who knows? All these shit coins and shit projects and shit people starting shit projects. Going on a little Ryan rant. Seems like everybody wants an electronic lottery ticket. Nobody just realizes if you stick your money in something like Bitcoin and just let it sit, you're going to do pretty well. Oh, that sucks, robots. Well, hopefully you don't feel pressured to get back into a trade. Just wait until the next opportunity comes. What I'm doing. But I'll probably be off here in about 5 minutes, guys. It's settling down time for me. I don't want to be on here when I start to get hangry. Because even though my eating window ends at 7, I don't eat up until the close of the eating window. I ordered food at like 4 o'clock. It showed up at 4:30, and then I ate it, and I didn't really have much after that. So after 7 o'clock, that's when it probably about 3 or 4 days. I'm probably gonna have to skip a couple live streams because once the intermittent fasting starts kicking in and your body starts getting more fat adapted, it becomes incredibly hard to sleep. Alright, I already have a screwed up sleeping schedule. Alright, so you can only imagine how bad it's gonna get. It's basically like you're high on methamphetamine. But it's all natural. I guess that's better, but I probably will have to skip a stream or two until my body is like, okay, we don't need to burn fat in the middle of the night. But we'll see what happens. Oh, I saw that ADA had a massive run up the other day. Very sad I didn't get into that. I mean, it had a decent setup for anybody that wanted to take it. We had come on, A, B, C. Your entry could have been right here at about 49 cents. And I mean, it was pretty explosive. I don't think it would have gone stopped out, maybe once. Yeah, me and Johnny Crypto, we're doing intermittent fasting together. We're doing 4-hour eating window for the first 2 weeks, and then we're pushing it down to 6 hours. I think I might record, one of those cheesy weight transformation videos. Mostly for myself to see the difference because, when you're losing weight over time, it is kind of hard to see the difference. But, also just like show people like, because I've been saying it for so long and I don't know why I've been slacking on it. So I like to show people that, like, even though like I failed many times, I at least got it done. I kept my mind at it. Have you tried meditation? I have. Zazen meditation from Taoism. Now lately I haven't been really doing like that meditation, but I've been working more on heart rate variability. So meditation is just kind of focusing on your breath, and when you have a thought, you observe the thought, you note the thought, and then you let it go. It's not most people think like meditation's like trying to not think. No, let your brain think, but just understand that there's a separation between the two. Watch your thoughts like they're wild animals in a pasture. Be an observer, not a host for a parasite. But no, I've been doing like this breath work where I breathe in with my abdomen as deeply as I can, let it out, and I hold my breath out for about 6 seconds. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in my head, and then I breathe in, breathe out. There's like no I don't hold my breath. I just go. and I hold my breath out, and I let it back in. Because when you hold your breath out, that slows down your heart rate because your abdomen drops back down into your stomach, which causes your thoracic cavity to have more opening, so your heart needs to slow down its heart rate. Taking the temptation away from food is harder than taking profits on a trade. That's for sure. Oh, but you know, it's always hard to do stuff by yourself. That's why I'm glad to have Johnny with me. It's always good to like have someone share the pain with for a little bit until, because I've been through this before. I know what intermittent fasting's like. I did a 4-hour eating window for 6 months, and it was the best I've ever felt in my life. But the first 2 to 3 weeks are typically just miserable. Not miserable, but it's like the food's talking to you. Hey, I'm in the kitchen. Come get me. I taste good. Which is, I'm not schizophrenic. I am not hallucinating that. The bread is actually talking to me. Wim Hof, the Iceman method, is how I actually had my second ever AP. I rolled out of my body. I skydived into like purple optic fiber wire. Went down this hallway, had a conversation with an orange thing, which wanted to know what I was there for and what my intentions were. And then it tested me by putting me in a field. And when I was walking around, just kind of like looking at stuff, a bear ran up behind me and tried to murder me. But I fought back. So I think I passed the test. I did Wim Hof for like 2.5 hours. And then I realized that I was snoring. And that I was actually asleep. So I counted backwards from 5 and I rolled over. And I did not hit the floor. Fell through it. It was a pretty cool experience. Absolutely terrifying, but pretty cool. Haven't tried it again since that moment in time because a little bit flabbergasted because I've done many things in my life that have been probably even more crazy than that. But it to have nothing in your system to be like, oh, this is just because of a drug, is a little bit different of an experience. Most definitely. It's harder to shake off. But, alright guys, it's been an hour. I'm gonna get going. Take fish outside. And I'll hop on the Discord. Playing Castle Crashers right now. Just a little platformer game. Keep me distracted from the woes of life. Keep me distracted from the food, most importantly. So, appreciate everybody. Let's choose a song for the outro. Get going. I think I know what I'm gonna do. More Marlon Craft. Definitely more Marlon Craft. I believe it's this one. I don't know if I've played this one yet. I have not. Alright. Pay Me in Time by Marlon Craft. This is his new album. You guys want to go listen to it? I wish maybe when the channel's big enough I can like contact these artists and be like, hey, can I get, you know, rights to play this on my live stream and everything like that? Because I feel like at some point I'm doing more for them than like what it does for my channel, if that makes sense. I don't want that to sound like weird, like I'm being arrogant. I'm just saying like getting their music out to more people that typically would never hear them, I think is always a good thing. That's why I do it mostly, because I like to share the stuff that I like. And it's kind of a good filter too. If someone clicks on my stream when it's starting and they go, "What the frick is this song?" then most of the time that is the type of person that is not going to jive with me. So therefore, you know, we can go our own paths. It's a great filter. All right. I'll see you guys later. Let's do the thing and get on getting. Are you ready for this? That was the first time I ever blinked. Bye.
What it is, I give a fuck what a pundit is. I give a fuck about a talking head. I think the burn this bitch to the ground. They do not know who they fucking with. Can't blame them, don't even know themselves. I've been in fight or flight since like 8. Probably realized it when I was 12. I probably outdid they bucket list. With Fab was still wearing them bucket hats. Back when I was getting bucket stacks. Just trying to prove that I was a man. Just trying to prove that I wasn't bitch. Took me till my 20-somethings. It's also clear to me what toughness is now. And I was on some fuckery. Got my priorities straight on my company. Love is the luxury. But I be damned if the leather ain't buttery. I be dancing on them when they front of me. Shaking hands, but I know they make fun of me. Funny, but what can I do when the faith's low? Feel the clock running out on my race, whoa. Said I just wanna take my time, but is it my time to hold? Said I just wanna make my mind, but is it still mine to know? Whoa, 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 whoa. Yo. Yo. If I had a minute every time they died, it'd be infinity upon my clock. Profit or the profit, what good if I cannot stop it? Got this path I'm talking, what if there's no way to walk? I don't know, mind full of places that I won't go, chest full of hatred that I don't show. I gotta take that off my soul. Do I have time to grow? I don't know, so either pay me in time, or hit the road.
Coming to you live from the end of the world. For all you people out there, real, digital, and otherwise, I've been asked to relay a request. This is for Craft. City kid, you know, all sad and whatnot. Though at the genesis of a journey, you could say. Here's a hit with him in mind.